did go to see the Iron Claw movie.
Yes. I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I think it was a documentary and it was a movie. I mean, I think the casting, I think the guy that played Kevin was totally like Carrie.
Yes.
He was Carrie. That was the one little thing, because you look at him, he even kind of looked at Carrie. His body was like Carrie's, whereas the one Carrie was kind of a little smaller. But the people that get onto me, because Frank was in there too. They had to put Frank in there, except he was one of the shortest guys. Everybody tells me, because they did a lot of the wrestlers, because Frank was so much part of the Von Erich dynasty.
Yep.
And we went through all the tragedies that happened, because that's when Frank was working. He was a booker for a while. So living those tragedies and then seeing them, they didn't focus too much on the tragedies. It was, but that's like anything, any TV show, any documentary, there's always a little bit. But I think they did a pretty good job.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Frank is the one that found David Von Erich dead there in Japan, correct?
Yeah, I happened to go to New Zealand. I was in New Zealand. Jeff was just little, and he called me. Well, Frank, if you ever know anything about Frank, he was very frugal. He was frugal.
So is Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe you said that to me, Eric. Oh my gosh, you're getting about as bad as Don Fry here now. No,
so one of the stories that I remember, and I was 4 when Frank died, just to note, but I went back and I learned about him because of World Class. And I remember Playboy Gary Hart talking about Frank, and he said he kept cans of tuna with him. And he said when he saw that, he knew he was going to make it in the business.
I had to make sure the cans of tuna and cans of green beans in his bag every time he left. At home, his breakfast was spam and eggs was his breakfast. But to go back to that, when yes, it was Frank that found, because they were on David. They were on. Were in Japan, and they'd sent Frank up to the room because they're waiting for David on the bus. And that was, what happened. I mean, I know it affected a lot of people. I know it affected, Frank, because it was like, oh my gosh, And that's why he called me, because he was so upset. Just the fact of, so yes, he did discover he was the one that went up there.